Hello and welcome to God of War 2018. Now, this is obviously adding on to my Thoughts of series where I just make videos after I finish games on the thoughts that I had about the game. And on what I thought about the game. Because I love to yap. And now I figured out, as I said in the last Thoughts About video, how to just voice over gameplay. So you get to watch some mediocre gameplay while I yap to you. This is God of War 2018. I absolutely adored this game. This is one of my favorite... Yeah, I'd say this is one of my favorite games. I do think it is a little, just a little worse than Ragnarok. I think I like Ragnarok just a little more. And I'll make a video on that at a later date when I feel like it. Because I finished that game as well. But this is God of War 2018, as I've said 2 times now. These are my thoughts on it. Okay. We'll start. We'll get right into it with the story. I love the story of this game. It's kind of a father-son adventure whole thing, where it's them trying to spread their late mother's ashes on the tallest peak of the mountains, and it takes them on a giant adventure throughout the Norse realm. So obviously the God of War games started in Greece. Now reverting back to Norse mythology, or what the fuck? We're in Norse now, damn it. We're in Norse mythology with the story starting out with that, going through, you meet Baldur, you meet Freya, you meet the twins, Brock and Sindri, not twins, but the brothers, the dwarven brothers, Brock and Sindri. I loved this story. It had moments of it being touching, it had moments of it being serious, it had moments of it being sad, having jokes from Mimir being on our hip, telling stories, being us seeing all the realms, whether it's the realm of fire, or it's the elves, or it's Midgard, where we do this, where this gameplay is at. I really enjoyed the story. I think the story is obviously one of the big good parts of the game, where you get to learn some of the actual lore of Norse mythology, and then you get to learn it from like what the game has kind of molded it into, molded the mythology into the story. So you have moments that it's like, oh yeah, that's a real thing, where like Thor and Mjolnir, and with Odin, and then you get to the point where it's like, oh, that's not true, but it makes sense for the game, like Odin and Freya being married, and all that. And I really enjoyed what they did, and I'm not an expert on the mythology, but I really enjoyed what they did with kind of like switching it up for the game. I think it all works out really well. I don't think there's any points where it's like, oh man, that's like not good at all, if that makes sense. Going straight from the story, we can go into the characters. There is kind of a close-knit amount of characters in this game, which I think I enjoy for like this first game. The second game, Ragnarok, has so many more characters. But this one you have Brock, Sindri, Kratos' son Atreus, you have Freya, you have Magni and Modi, you have Baldur, you have Mimir, and I think that, and you have Jormungandr as well, which is World Serpent. Is that Jormungandr? Yeah. But yeah, I think all the characters I really enjoy, because you get to learn about their backstory throughout the game, and I think I really enjoy that. I enjoy getting to learn more about the characters and learn more about... Excuse my yawning, oh my goodness. But you get to learn more about the characters, and you get to see the interactions between the two. Like in the beginning of the game, Brock and Sindri aren't talking to each other, but then, like throughout the game, they meet up, and then they like repair what was wrong, and then they become like the two people that fix your stuff, which I really enjoy. They're great comic relief as well. It's kind of what Mimir is as well, is throughout some of the tense parts, Brock and Sindri always do a good job to kind of slightly pull you out of it and kind of have it be like, oh, make a joke or say this or say that. And I really, really enjoy that about even the two of them. Like, sometimes you get stories from them, or sometimes you get all that. And I really, really enjoy it. And I like learning about, like, because at first you don't know Freya is a god. You just think she's a witch. And then you figure out, oh shit, she was like married to Odin, and then she's a huge part of like the history of this place. And then you have Atreus going through him learning that he's a god, and Kratos trying to kind of keep him in line and not have him become not like an issue, but have it become the loop of gods where it's like, oh man, it's this dude killing their parent or killing all these people, even though Atreus kind of goes rogue at some point when he learns that he's a god, and he starts to become arrogant and become full of himself, and then he kills, I can't remember which one's Magni or Modi, but he kills one of Thor's children. Kratos kills the other one, but he kills one of them just out of like feeling superior about it, which I think that becomes a major part of the story as well. And stuff that I like about the story is you have moments like that, and it's 90% of the time it's Kratos trying to just steer Atreus in the right direction, not have him become this big old monster. At first he didn't want to tell him that he was a god. At first they just thought that they were both mortals, and his dad was just super strong and whatnot. And then they learn, Atreus starts to learn more of Kratos' backstory, and Kratos starts to tell more of his backstory, and it's like, he starts to reveal, like, why he had the bandages on his arms, and you actually get to the point where you see the Blades of Chaos, and it has callbacks to Greece. Callbacks to the old God of Wars, which the old God of Wars, obviously, Kratos goes through and pretty much takes out Greece, kills the entire Greek pantheon, does all these things in the old God of War games, which I only played like an hour of the third one. But I watched a video before jumping into these games, because obviously this is way after both of the games came out. But I watched a video on the Greek games just to kind of have a nice little buffer to understand what was going on. Because, like, in these games you have the scar on Kratos' like abdomen, and it's because he stabbed himself at the end of God of War 3. And then, like, the Blades of Chaos callback would make sense and all that good stuff. Throughout the game you have development of characters. You have, like, development of Kratos, you have the development of Atreus, where, like I said, Atreus starts out as this kid that's sick because it's his, I think it's his, like, godly powers manifesting in him, but he doesn't know, so it's just, it forms as a sickness within him. And then Kratos becoming this secretive father that doesn't tell anything, and then towards the end he starts actually explaining his past and understanding that he can't really keep that from him because it's starting to make him sick. And then once they figure it out, I feel like it does draw them closer within the story, and like within the world of God of War. If you're barking, it's my dog being annoying. So you have that development within the story, and then you have, like I said, Atreus learning that he's a god, becoming arrogant, and then kind of coming back in the end, and realizing his mistakes, and like understanding that what he did was wrong, killing Magni or Modi. And Kratos, in this game you don't see it as much, in the next game you see it more, but Kratos softens up a little bit. Not within like the fighting style or anything, but he starts to like kind of listen to Atreus and understand Atreus and let him not really lead his own thing, but like figure it out. And you can see at some points with Kratos as well, where he tries to put his hand on Atreus, but he doesn't feel like he's worthy of that, or doesn't want, like, not that he doesn't want to do that, but I feel like it is more of he doesn't feel worthy of kind of giving him that fatherly love, and then towards the end, it's like it becomes easier for him. It becomes a normal thing where he's like, yeah, and he puts his hand on him, and
It is a delicate balance.
it becomes more of a father-son and not more of a. It still is like a mentor-mentee thing, but it becomes more of a father-son story towards the end of that. And I really, really enjoyed that. And there were some touching moments between that where he like actually comforted Atreus, or he actually, and like you could tell that he actually worries about Atreus because of some of the events. And like even at the end of the game, he gets punched by Baldur, and Kratos is worried about him. He doesn't not care about Atreus. He loves him so deeply that he didn't want him to know about his troubled past. He wanted to kind of shelter Atreus away from all these things, and then you learn that Atreus is a god. Atreus is actually Loki. That throws a whole wrench in Kratos' plans here. But yeah, I don't know, like the interactions between those two, and even the interactions with Freya, and the interactions between like Mimir and Freya and all these things, I really enjoy listening. And like even Mimir just telling stories, because he's supposed to be like the all-knowing, like not all-knowing, but like the smartest man alive or whatnot. And he enjoys just kind of sometimes telling stories in the middle of stuff. Or when you see runes, it's either Atreus or Mimir reading them, or like you have Freya with being able to kind of not entirely heal Atreus because he doesn't know about his past, but like help him get healthier within it. And then you learn about Freya's whole story, and then you have the brothers, the interactions between each other, whether it goes from insulting to them making up and then becoming not brothers again, but like buddies again, you know. I think those like interactions between the characters and those relationships between the characters really draw the world together, if that makes sense. It kind of ties everything together and makes all of it make sense, but it almost sometimes makes the world feel alive. Sometimes you have moments where it's like, oh yeah, this area is supposed to be dead and rotten and like all that, but then you have Mimir kind of explaining the story of how the world got to this point. Like what happened in the past, and then you have the interactions between Atreus and Kratos, where you have some funny moments happen, and you have like just some of the things are like so I guess I should say human-like. Like you just have normal interactions between the two where it's like, oh yeah, this, and sometimes they poke fun at each other. Kratos not as much, obviously, but there is some moments that he has some fun with Atreus, like when they drink, I don't remember if it's mead or whatnot, but when they drink that, he goes, ah, and then Atreus does the same thing. And then Kratos smiles and chuckles to himself a little bit. I think those moments really show, like, how much Kratos cares for Atreus, which is very, very nice to the story, and very, very nice to even, like, to watch, just to enjoy between the cutscenes and between the story from start to finish. Next, we're going to move on to the sound design of the game. Oh, I love the sound design of this and Ragnarok. Whether it's the sound of your weapons clinking together when you're running, or whether it's right at the beginning of the game, I remember you were cutting down trees to burn Faye's body for like a funeral or something like that. I think that's what it, I don't know if funeral is the right word for that, but like to honor her death. And you cut down a tree and you pick it up, and while you're walking, like the little branches snap off the tree and you hear them hit the ground, and while you're walking and you like set it down on the ground, you hear all the leaves rustle and whatnot. And like the footsteps around, and sometimes climbing stuff, and then some of like the dwarves with the hammers hitting stuff, and sometimes you have wooden contraptions moving together, just listening to the noise and hearing the ice from your axe and the fire from your blades. It's incredible. It really is. the sound design is really, really superb in this game, and I think that's one of, not the things that drew me towards the game, but it's one of the things that I super, super enjoyed with it, with just being able to, like, listen to the environment. It's one of the things that I had in my most favorite game ever, Last of Us Part 2. The sound design in that game was incredible, where you had the sounds of your feet kind of scraping the floor, or when it was raining, you could hear it hitting different things. It's kind of the case in this game, where you had all these things, and when you moved, like, big structures, you heard everything kind of creaking and moving, because it hasn't been moved in a while. And with that, we can move into visuals as well, because this game is visually stunning. I have the PS5 Pro, and I don't know if that really enhances it or anything, but the game looks incredible. Whether it's the gods, whether it's the fights as well. Like, we can do the visuals and the fights. Like, the fights within the game, obviously, you have the ones with Boulder, you have the ones with, like, all the ogres, you have all these different, like, the ones with the elves. And I think even within the cutscenes and whatnot, it just shows, like, this game is less hack and slash. Like, the old God of Wars were hack and slash, and obviously it was the most, like, brutal thing, and Kratos is still brutal, don't get me wrong. But I almost feel like sometimes there's more sophistication. Like, there's a giant dragon you fight, that I'll get to later, because that's kind of with my gripes about the game. There's a giant dragon you fight that you literally, like, stab its head with a hook. Like a giant hook. It's awesome. Like, the entire, it really is cool the way that sometimes Kratos uses the environment to take the enemies down, but it's cool that, like, just the way that set pieces are built, and the way that all these things are, like, thrown together, and sometimes, and I never really, what I really liked, and sometimes I'd have trouble with this, but what I really liked was, I never really got lost in this game. I think there was only 1 or 2 times that I got, like, lost in an area, and it took me, like, 5 minutes to get out of it. It's really not that bad. But I noticed with The Last of Us Part 2, the reason I quit that is because sometimes I would get lost, and it'd be a problem, and then it'd kind of deter me from the game. But God of War, I never really had those moments of being like, oh shit, where do I go? Partially because, yes, sometimes it had a marker where to go, but, like, some of the areas, even exploring, made sense, right? Like, I never really got too far off track for too long. But yeah, even with, like, that, and you can really, I can almost go on to, like, the set pieces in this game. Just the different realms. You can't even visit all the realms in this game, and there's still so much to do. It's so incredible. Like, there's a bunch of collectibles, there's a bunch of Odin's ravens to kill, there's a bunch, like, and I haven't, well, obviously with this gameplay, I haven't come close to beating the game, but I've really appreciated there's so much to do after the story. And there is, what I don't like, and we can get into some of the, let's talk about weapons last. Let's talk about the weapons. The axe and the blades. Oh my goodness. The axe is from your wife Faye, and the blades are obviously from Greece. And I really enjoy the way they feel in this game. Like, the way they're able to swing around, and the way that some of the combos string together, it's super, super satisfying, and it's super nice and, like, fluid to have it just kind of, like, run with each other, if that makes sense. Like, there's some enemies that are, like, weaker to your blades, and there's some enemies that are weaker to your axe, and I really enjoy that kind of back and forth where you can choose whatever one you want to use. I use the Chaos Blades more, or Blades of Chaos more, just because with the hold down R1, I really like the little spinny attack. It was visually appealing to your boy. But now we can get into some of the gripes I had with the game, which there's not many. But the enemy variety was slightly lackluster. Whether it was all the ogres that are kind of just like different colors of one. Now, that doesn't really take away. I didn't really notice it until, like, later, I guess. And the like rock guys, I fought one of them earlier in this gameplay. I forgot what they were called. Ancients. I didn't really enjoy Ancients, but I guess those it slightly makes sense because there's stuff for like different environments. But it's really only those two, because everywhere else you have the elves, and then you have other things that you can fight. And you have I don't remember if they're in this game. They definitely are, like the little nightmare guys that float around. I think that's really one of the only gripes I have with the game, is like sometimes the enemy variety is a little lackluster, which I think they do pick up in Ragnarok, which is why I believe Ragnarok really is almost how I feel about Death Stranding and Death Stranding 2, is it's just a better sequel, it's just a better game.
What's that?
But like, it doesn't really take away from anything. I gave this game an 8 out of 10 in my little Josh rating. I thought it was incredible. I thought the story was incredible, the visuals, the sound design, the weapons, obviously the characters, the interactions, the cutscenes. I really like, as you could see, speak of the devil, with the cutscene with like the camera almost not floating around you, but walking. You know, it's almost like somebody's holding it and just walking behind you. I really enjoy that. It kind of, not lifelike, but it almost makes it slightly like a TV show where you have the camera slightly swaying, and it's almost like The Office, kind of. The Office kind of had that, where it's like the camera would be slightly swaying, because obviously it was like a camera crew inside of Dunder Mifflin. But like, I really enjoy that.
Focus up, boy.
I really enjoy that sometimes it's not a stagnant camera. Not many games have a stagnant like camera, but I like how this one, it's a lot of cameras move horizontally. This one moves vertically just a little bit, if that makes sense. Like every game has like a camera obviously pan up and down, but some games don't have it. I don't know if jostle is the right word, but like literally like you're holding a camera and walking. I thought that was, I don't know if that's like a design thing or whatnot, but I really enjoyed it. Like I thought it was cool. And it made some of the scenes, and I think it really blended well going from gameplay into cutscene as well, because it just kind of immediately float right into it, and then you'd be into a cutscene. But yeah, I give this game an 8 out of 10. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I really do recommend it, because this game's incredible. It's a masterpiece. No wonder it won Game of the Year, even though it won over Red Dead 2, which I want to play eventually. But I hope you guys enjoyed me rambling on about God of War 2018 and my thoughts about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye-bye.
We're not gonna find Brock's friend alive, are we?